fun part of the program. Let's meet Laura. So, getting ahead of myself. So, Laura, it's over to you. So, just for a start, Laura, would you like to introduce yourself and just sort of say a little bit about who you are and how you know us, maybe when you did Dev Academy, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so I did Dev Academy last winter. I think it was, I can't remember the exact dates. All I remember is cold and rainy outside. Um, I heard about Dev Academy through my friends who were already working in industry, and across the board, everyone who I spoke to about where should I study, what should I like, how should I pursue this, they all said Dev Academy. Um, yeah, so what you're speaking to, Ro, with that street cred and reputation is so real. Um, and yeah, also having like friends who are in industry and also hiring, they would tell me that they would look at a Dev Academy graduate with keen eyes. And so that automatically put me in this position of like, okay, I want to learn from the best. I want to do the best. I was also really into Dev Academy because of the, I guess, holistic nature of their program. So much of it is about honing in um, your softer skills, and so like your leadership skills, your interpersonal skills, all of these skills that we inevitably really, really need when we go out into the workforce. And naturally, myself being very like mind wellness oriented, I just loved that there were things like mindfulness and nonviolent communication and things like that in the curriculum. It just really was clear to me from the get-go that Dev Academy was a very thorough, well thought out program that I would get a lot from. So that's what drew me to it, and that's why I did it.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. And what are you working on at the moment? What's your current role?
Yeah, so I am working at Serato, uh, which is awesome. And I'm actually working as a product owner. So I didn't go into I didn't go into software development per se, but um, all of the skills that I learned in Dev Academy have for sure given me, first of all, the confidence to even go for a product owner role, and second of all, given me a common language that I can speak with the rest of my team. That had I not done Dev Academy, I would probably be sinking a little bit in this role. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Serato's an amazing company and quite an iconic company, particularly for New Zealand, particularly for Auckland, I guess. Yeah, great. And talk to me a little bit about the role. How are you applying the skills that you've learned at Dev Academy in your role? Because, I mean, a product role is not a coding role per se, but you've also said that, what you're doing now really has been supported by the study. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, honestly, like I was just so grateful to Dev Academy and my experience there actually when I was in the interview process, because I got up to my final interview and they did like a technical test with me, but not like a coding test, because I would never do any coding in this role. But what they got me to do was to prioritize and order a series of 3 sprints. And so for any of you who are listening, sprints is kind of like a way that I guess they manage the workflow and workload at an industry. That's a really, really brief way of describing it. But that was what I needed to do. I needed to take these pre-existing tickets that were in no specific priority and prioritize them and allocate them into various sprints. And I could read these tickets and understand this is a back end ticket. This is going to take a lot more resource and probably going to be of higher priority to do sooner rather than later, because like the ripple on consequence of something going wrong in the back end is like a much harder fix and a lot more resource intensive than like a small front end UI fix. um And so, yeah, like in my interview, I was really able to flex that knowledge that I got from Dev Academy. And I swear to God, that's what got me the job. Um, yeah, so things like that, just being able to like more deeply understand what the developers are doing. I'm working on a bunch of different projects, and I'm working across two separate teams. And so one team is very front end, very like UX UI focused. And that's like an entirely different structure to another team that I'm doing that's a lot more hot fixes on the fly, like BAU style, which is just kind of like updates, like constant updates that need to be done to the site and to the product. So I'm getting a very broad, very wide exposure to the whole company and all of the little bits and bobs that make up the software as well as the website. So just having that experience of understanding how an application is built is enabling me to do my job in a way where I can understand how to order, estimate, and prioritize tasks and have an understanding of what it'll take. And also just being able to banter with the developers. I'm not like completely, glossing over when they talk to me about the technical aspects of what's involved.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've had quite a few comments recently from grads who have gone into the more product side of it, just around how, how the sort of the people side of it has made their job much easier, because it's a negotiation role, like, and sometimes you've got to sort of be managing priorities, and it has got managerial aspects to it, to even people. So well done. Thinking back to your bootcamp experience, what was some of your, or maybe one of your most memorable learning moments, either technical or non-technical?
Oh, so many. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to lie, echoing your sentiment, Rob, it was definitely a challenging time. It's not an easy curriculum, but the way that it is delivered, it's just so good. And I think, okay, let me just focus for a second. Otherwise, I'll ramble on for like half an hour about the highlights. A highlight from the experience was the support that I got. I think the teachers and the facilitators were just, it just slapped. Like they were really, really attentive and but also like not micromanaging. Like what you were saying, Ro, is like they would coach you into the answer and support you and empower you to find the answer within yourself instead of telling you what to do. I never felt like, I mean, I definitely a lot of times felt like I was not getting it, but every time I asked for help, I would always leave an experience with a facilitator feeling a lot better about myself, basically. And just like the supportive environment and having that high touch point to facilitators made the experience so much more enjoyable. And yeah,
Awesome.
it's just really good quality. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I've got a question from Karina here. I hope that you can answer. Considering it's an intense program, what would you say is an important or key ingredient to navigate studying at Dev Academy?
Yeah, I would say like really simplify and do a lot of like expectation management, especially while you're in the boot camp section of the course. It doesn't last forever, it's just a couple of months, and my recommendation would be to just really commit and devote to it. Don't, pack your weekends out with plans. Like you're probably just going to need to relax as much as you can on your time off. And so yeah, for me, it looked a lot like telling my friends and family, hey, I'm probably going to be less available over these next coming months. I really need to focus on this thing. I really like cut down my expectations on social time, what my capacity was for exercise, all of these things, and just made sure that when I wasn't at Dev Academy, I was spending my time in a way that would rest and restore me so that I could get the most out of the course. Yeah.
And that'd be advice seconded from us, Karina, as well. Clear the decks, particularly for that boot camp period. I think another one, and I sort of alluded to it before, is you do have to trust the process a bit as well. Like Laura mentioned that, is stuff actually going in? We have this sort of week 5, week 6 moment where suddenly you realize that you can do this, but it takes a while. So, and trust yourself, like your brain can do this. It's just hard and it takes a bit of effort, but it will come together and yeah, it'll be awesome. Oh, there's another question here. What preparations or study would you have done in retrospect, either before or alongside foundations? It's a great question, Michael.
Great question. Honestly, I started from the bare bones. Like I didn't really, I mean, other than just like preparing myself in the sense of committing to the course, I didn't do any extra curriculum kind of preparation. And I felt really supported in that. The Dev Academy like helped me go from 0 to where I am now in the space of 4 months. So it's pretty incredible. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of resources that Dev Academy gives to you that you can indulge in if you've got the capacity for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you meant to say from 0 to hero, Laura.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and Michael, to reiterate that as well, is we don't require you to learn anything more. And so just bear that in mind. Also bear in mind, you might be working next to someone that's been coding for 10 years. You're never going to be as good as them by the end of the boot camp. It's just not quite like that. And the idea is not to be as good as anything, but to be as best as you can be and to have that growth. And that's really what makes the difference, because you'll be able to know what you're capable of. You'll be able to stand in front of someone and tell your story, and they'll be going, yeah, I can invest in you. You're on the right track. That's really at the heart of what we do. So that said, there are some really cool programs out there. One of my favorites is Free Code Camp. If you did want to have a play with it now, go for it, because it's got so much you can go into and it's really good work. It's all open source. There's some good support out there. So yeah. Laura, what surprised you about your bootcamp experience?
What surprised me was I went into it really not knowing where it would take me. I was going through a huge career pivot and transformation, so I didn't really know what the outcome was going to be. And what surprised me was how supported I was to follow a career path that wasn't exactly software engineering. And so when I was at Dev Academy, over time, I started to get more clarity around, oh, maybe a Scrum Master or a product owner would be better suited to me. And then I spoke to the facilitators about that, and they supported me so much to get the skills that I needed for those roles still within the course. Like they helped me to they even like made me take on a Scrum Master role in our cohort just so I could get some practice, like they really went the extra mile for me specifically. And yeah, that was really epic and totally like not on the curriculum when I signed up. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big part of what we do. I mean, if someone's got an interest in gaming, well, we're not gamers ourselves, but we will support that learning. And if you want to build a game, go for it. We love it. The thing about what we're doing is we're trying to ignite a passion and ignite a drive and find that. And at any stage, if we can accommodate a journey that you want to take, we will do our best. Our curriculum is flexible enough for us to be able to do that. Last question for you, Laura. Knowing what you know now, and after completing the boot camp, if you could go back and give yourself advice or someone advice looking to study at Dev Academy, what would that advice be?
The advice would be just enjoy the process, just lean into it, enjoy it. Really just echoing other little threads that have been mentioned already, just trust that it's all gonna come together. But yeah, the experience is quite a surrender. You've just got to like go into it. Just fall into it and kind of hope for the best and do your best and enjoy yourself as much as you can throughout the process is what I'd say. Yeah.
Lovely. Quite a few students who have experienced something like Outward Bound, which is where you get dropped in the wilderness to survive, and it's about finding yourself. There is obviously support and facilitators and so on. They describe Dev Academy as a bit like Outward Bound for software development. It's about really growing up and getting close to it. And yeah, it's awesome. Laura, thank you so much for your beautiful stories. I really appreciate your time. Folks that are listening and watching, do you have any questions for Laura before we let her get back to her evening? You're most welcome to chuck them in the chat or unmute yourself. Either way is fine. All right then. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I can hear the crickets or the cicadas cheeping outside. So we'll let you go. But thank you so much again, and yeah, all the best in that role.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, all the best for everyone looking to do Dev Academy. Get it. It's so good. Thanks, Rose. Thanks, Steph. I'll speak to you soon.